The UN Security Council held an emergency meeting on North Korea's latest provocation. The U.S. had some strong words and called for tougher sanctions. China and Russia, however, stood in the way. Connie Kim tells us more.
At the emergency UN Security Council meeting on North Korea's ballistic missile launch, the United States ambassador to the United Nations gave a strong warning to Pyongyang.
The United States is prepared to use the full range of our capabilities to defend ourselves and our allies. One of our capabilities lies with our considerable military forces. We will use them if we must, but we prefer not to have to go in that direction.
But before Washington opts for military action, Haley said the U.S. will not exclusively look at Pyongyang, but will look at all nations doing business with the North, emphasizing that a staggering 90% of Pyongyang's trade is with Beijing, and that much of the burden of enforcing UN sanctions rests with China. The U.S. ambassador said Washington is drafting a new UN Security Council resolution aimed at cutting North Korea's access to foreign currency and restricting oil exports to the North, but chances of that resolution receiving approval appear slim. This as China and Russia, veto-wielding members of the Council, are against the use of sanctions, instead calling for a peaceful resolution.
We call on all the parties concerned to exercise restraint, avoid provocative actions and belligerent rhetoric, demonstrate a will for unconditional dialogue, and work actively together to defuse the tension.
Beijing and Moscow, countries that share a land border with Pyongyang, rather call on Washington to embrace their double suspension plan, aimed at freezing the North's nuclear program in exchange for a halt in South Korea-U.S. joint military drills. With existing UN resolutions banning ballistic missile launches, China and Russia will have to agree on any additional sanctions. But the degree of sanctions is an issue that needs hammering out, possibly during Trump's meeting with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping or with the Russian President Vladimir Putin at the sidelines of the G20 summit. Connie Kim, Arirang News.